All right, we're back with the second part of our series of how to spice up your piano play. The first video was about using rhythm, so we're going to incorporate some of that same thing still in this video. So if you haven't seen that, go back and watch that first video. But to this video, we're going to talk about using fatter chords and inverted chords to give you a different spice and flavor. And different feel to songs. We're going to still use the same song as the first video, How Great Is Our God. And I'm going to use very basic chords first, and then show you the difference when I kind of what we call fatten them up, which means adding more notes with those chords and using inversions, at least one chord inversion, and it really makes a big difference. So the very basic chord is C major, and I'm just going to put a C in the bass and the C, E, and G in the right hand. So how great is our God. You got that very typical tone. We're going to go to A minor. So A in the bass hand, A, C, E, right? A minor is our God. And all will sing how great. F major, F, A, C, and then F in the bass. To a G major. That's G, B, D, G. Back to C. So it's just very, very generic. Is our sing man. You add that rhythm in there. Sounds already different. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do before we fatten up the chords is I'm going to show you one inversion. All an inversion is changing the order of the notes of the chord. So in C, in the key of C major, 1, 3, 5 of the scale, or C, E, G, I am going to actually, for tonality's sake, play the G first. So I'm just taking the G off the end and add it on the beginning. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. And that, listen to the difference. It's a little richer, right? Another thing that gives you is some inversions is we're in the key of C, and the melody, a lot of it is around that C chord, C. And the more you can play that melody in the last finger, the better it's going to sound. So instead of the G being at the top, we're having the E and the C at top. Alright, so it's a much richer sound. Now we can fatten up our chords by adding other notes to it. And so you do kind of have to know a little bit of theory here, and I'll do a little bit of it, but if you haven't, watched some of my other videos, and I may go back and explain more of the theory on all of this even further if need be. But for the C, we're going to make it a C major 9 chord, but by adding the 2, which is also considered the 9, and the 7 with it, makes it really full. How great. Now you can leave off the 7, right, which is the B, and just add the D, just to make it a 2 as well. So I'm playing right now already, I'm just playing C, G, C, D, E, and then sometimes I'll throw that B in there as well. Really thick. In the bass hand, a lot of times I'll take that C and put it a little bit lower and add a G as well. C, G, then G. So all of a sudden, more notes equals a fatter chord. See how much thicker that sounds already? Then this. Big difference. Okay? Instead of an A minor, I'm going to play an A minor 9. So instead of this, okay, I'm going to just simply drop from my thumb from my A to the 7, my minor 7th, which is a G, all right? Then I'm going to add my pointer finger back and put it on the B for the 2, which is also the 9. Okay? All right? Very more fat chord as well. And for the F major, I'm going to make it a major 7 or a major 9, but most of the time I just play a major 7. So A, C, and then add the E on the end. But sometimes I may throw that 2 in there. But most of the time, major 7. And then what I'll do for the G is I'll actually do a G suspended 4 chord first, which is G, and I may add the 2 in there as well. But most of the time, it's just I'll do the G, C, and D together with the G and D in the bass, and then resolve it to the G2 chord, the A and the B, and take off the C, and then go back to that C chord. So it sounds much different when I do that. So how great, much thicker. Our God, and all will sing. Much thicker. It sounds way different than. So you add the tempo of how you play it with the rich chords, like you break it down slow at first, you know how it goes. Is our God, sing with me, how great is our God, all will sing, how great is our God. All of a sudden, it's starting to sound a whole lot different. So just by fattening up the chords, using inversions sometime to kind of get different tones, you can really, really spice up your play. So that's all for this video. Be looking for the next one on the next part of this, and we'll kind of get into more of the individual notes and how that will add it up. So thank you for watching this video.